everyone, my name is ZeBirdBrain and today we are talking about the general interface, more specifically, those things. So if you already know what these are, you can move ahead. But if you don't, or if you're new to Harmony and you think you know what these are, please stay and I'll explain to you what they are. When you start using the software, sometimes what you're gonna see is that you are trying to move maybe your drawings and it's just not working. This is because in Harmony we have drawings and keyframes, which are two different things. I mean, there are different things in most software, but more specifically in Harmony because you have your drawing where your artwork is. And then if you want to do some keyframing, so like tween animation and moving things with like your transform tool, you are supposed to put your drawings on a peg. Or put a peg on a drawing, I don't know, or in the node view, because then it keeps your drawing art on your drawing and your keyframe information on your peg. Why are we doing this in Harmony? This is because it's much easier than to move your keyframes independently from your drawing. Imagine if you had a whole animation like a walk cycle or something and you just wanted to shift the keyframe animation around, then it's easy because the two of them are separate. Now I understand that in other software, it doesn't quite work like that. If you think of Flash, for example, you would get your drawing and then your keyframes would be on the same layer. This in Harmony is one of the biggest beginner's mistake. It is really not okay. This is because it can lead to a lot of different problems with like layering and counter animating your things, and it's just not great. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes people that know what they're doing do it because, like I said, we know what we're doing and like we know that it's not gonna harm our pipeline or whatever. But if you're starting out and you want to learn the proper way, always put pegs on your drawings if you want to move them. However, you're here in this tutorial because you want to know what these things are, okay? So before I explain to you what these are, I had to explain to you what the drawings and the keyframes were, which now you know, okay? Drawing is where you draw. It's the artwork. The keyframe is the little dot that usually moves your whole layer around. Like I said, it's possible in Harmony to mix both of them on the same layer. It's not recommended for many reasons, such as in your node view, like you have your keyframe and your drawing on the same level. So if you want to link the movement to another drawing, that becomes annoying, so don't do it. But if you did, because, you know, it's possible, so therefore you might have done it. Like, just so you know, like, there are ways to work around it. And this is where these three icons come in. So you have the first one is called Paste Mode All Drawings Attribute, Paste Mode Keyframe Only, and Paste Mode Exposure Only. So yeah, I've been calling it drawings, but really it's exposure. Yeah. So exposure and keyframes. So right at the moment, I have the two of them on the same layer. So if I have this active, it means that it says paste mode, but it's actually like manipulating mode, I guess. Because then if I click in my timeline and I have like this drawing over here, if I click and drag it, it's gonna move both the keyframe and the drawing. Which is where usually it can get problematic because what if I just want to move my drawing but not my keyframe? This is why you usually put things on a peg because it's already separated for you. It would be perfect, like your movement would be on your peg instead, which would be great. You wouldn't have like to worry about it. You could just take your drawing, move it, and have a good old time. But no, some people don't want to use peg. They want to do like Flash does. They want to put the keyframes on them. And that's okay, okay? Like, the animation police is not going to run in your room and be like, hey, use a peg, okay? Everybody has their own pipeline. I just want to say that if you go work in a studio, usually you're not supposed to do that. But if you're working on your own and this pipeline works for you, that's great. So now, bouncing off to these icons again. This one is keyframes and exposure, which means it's going to move everything together. If you go back here and you select this one, then you will only move your keyframes. So you're going to take this and move it, and it's not going to move the exposure of your drawing. And yes, you can even pull it out of your drawing. Yeah, so it's really just affecting your keyframes. And then you have here, it's just affecting your drawing. So even if I try to move this, it's not going to move my keyframe. It's just going to move my drawing. Okay? I'm telling you this because sometimes you can press on it by mistake and you're like, huh, why can't I move my keyframes anymore? The software is broken and my life is sad. Well, don't worry. This is just because of this mode. So just make sure that you have the right one active and you'll be all good. I will admit sometimes I put keyframes directly on my drawing when I do multiplane. Sue me! Alright, so that's it. It was a short video, but I just thought I would share this because a lot of people are confused about these icons. So, yeah. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye!